Did you know that Meryl Streep is the most overrated actress in all of Hollywood? I don't know, I thought she was pretty great in Fantastic Mr. Fox, but there you go. It's pretty sad that basically everybody's first reaction to Streep's acceptance speech was, I wonder when Trump will tweet about this. Seriously, take a moment to process that. We now live in a world where you can make an offhand remark about the president-elect's knees being a weird color, and you can expect a pithless response from the man himself within 1 to 2 business days. Hell, he would probably tweet rage about this video if he wasn't already busy tweet raging about other, more important people. For those who don't know, Meryl Streep was awarded the Lifetime Achievement Award in this year's Golden Globes, and she decided to use her acceptance speech to criticize Donald Trump's performance on the campaign trail, citing the time he allegedly mocked a reporter's disability as proof of his lack of empathy. A prominent figure took issue with Trump's behavior, and another news star still gave off light, but the cult of personality around Trump has taken to attacking Streep in the name of their poor innocent overlord in, let's charitably call them, interesting ways. Ways that I feel are worth making a video on, so let's rant. Attack number 1 is basically parroting what Trump himself said without a single autonomous thought, calling Meryl Streep an overrated Hillary lover and asking who cares about this hag. The answer to that is simple. Trump cares. And so do you, obviously. Otherwise you wouldn't be taking the time to attack her, you silly goose. Attack number 2 serves as a justification for attack number 1, asking how the liberal left would react if a prominent conservative actor, what little there are, took the time to criticize President Obama. Well, if I remember Clint Eastwood's bizarre Cheros correctly, the reaction is bemused confusion more than anything else. Attack number 3 is probably the most compelling of the lot, which is kind of like claiming that of all the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies, Chipwrecked is the most watchable, but there it is. It attempts to undermine the crux of Meryl Streep's argument by asserting that Trump wasn't mocking reporter Serge Kovaleski's disability, but rather was using a gesture that he uses all the time whenever he's mocking people who question him. You realize that isn't a good defense, right? Oh, little Donnie didn't burn down that building because it was a black church. He actually burns down all kinds of churches regardless of the community it caters to, so who's the menace to society now? I beg your pardon, clearly you are, for condoning this shit. Even if I was to meet this argument halfway, it doesn't make sense. Streep's acceptance speech criticized Trump's lack of empathy, and if we accepted the notion that Trump's offensive gestures were not meant to insult just Kovaleski, but rather to insult anybody Trump considers to be below him, it doesn't undermine Streep's argument. Hell, it only enhances it. To drive that point home, one commenter stated that he still didn't believe Trump insulted the reporter's disability, but if he did, then he would have thought it was hilarious. Wow. Does Trump have that fucking cunt wrapped around his tiny little fingers? But really, the attack I hold the most scorn for is Trump's, if for no other reason than it is grossly overplayed. Don, this is a little tip from me to you. If everybody and their gerbil is the most adjective job in all of place, then the statement loses all sense of meaning. I know your mind can only work in absolutes, like an infant grappling with object permanence, but if this is really the level of discourse we should expect from the fucking president for the next 4 years, I would at least appreciate some originality and witty writing in your vitriolic tweets. Maybe hire the guy who wrote for Fantastic Mr. Fox, assuming he isn't the most capricious carpenter in all of New Jersey.